night, 9 o'clock, time to slam. Sex, love, and misunderstanding. With Dr. Tiy-E, he the man. Relax, let him lead the way. He got a plan. It's the slam.
Welcome to another episode of Slam, Sex, Love, and the Misunderstanding. I'm Dr. Tiy-E, licensed psychosexual therapist, and this is a one love room. This is a place where people come and just disclose everything about love as it relates to sex, love, and the misunderstandings about love and relationships. With that being said, I know y'all always hear me say I got a very, very special guest, but this guest is unique. Let me tell you why she's unique. Back in the early 2000s, I taught at Clark Atlanta University. This young lady was one of my students. I taught the only human sexuality class in AUC, and she happened to be one of 80. Like, the class was so huge, it was standing room only. Keisha and I, Pulliam, Bobby Valentino, a couple of my students. So it was a bunch of just who's who in this class. And this young lady came in, and I remember one day, her and a couple of other young ladies came into my class late. And I said, why you, because when you're late for my class, the door is locked. So they came in looking all disgusted. I said, why you guys, what's the problem? These guys on campus, they so disrespectful. They, hey, shawty, what your name is? What your name is? So I stopped them and I said, be thankful that you look the way you look. What about, look around the classroom without looking at without pointing fingers. How many women in this class will never get called beautiful? Have never been told they're beautiful outside of their mom and daddies. So the fact that these men are enjoying the beauty, again, I'm not discounting the disrespect, but just saying it's an honor to wear this beauty. With that being said, y'all welcome. Since I've known as a student, I never called about her. I always put Miss before her name. Mm-hmm. Y'all welcome Miss Kimberly Bovell, AKA Miss Bovell. And the crowd goes wild. Crowd goes wild. Miss Bovell, it's a pleasure.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being here, Miss Educator.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Wait, can we go back to that story?
Yes.
What you didn't tell the people is you said you the finest woman standing in that box, meaning the towel on the floor. I felt this big. It was such a reality check in that moment.
Yeah, because in Atlanta, there's so many beautiful damn women. When I got here, I was like, oh, dear God. She's fine. And I'm in my 20s as a professor, and I got these students. We'll get to that in a second. But welcome to the One Love Room.
Thank you. I like the slam couch.
You know what I'm saying? See how we do it? You see how we do it?
Love it.
See, again, thank you for being here. And, you know, usually the way we get started in the One Love Room, there's a formality that's here. Okay. And usually we start with a drink. I allowed you to create your own potion, and you did apple cider with Patrol. Straight hood. Right?
We didn't have many choices with juice. I needed something sweet to go with my Patron.
And what I learned from a previous guest, she's like, you're not a real drinker, are you? I said, why? She said, because you ain't got no juices.
No
you got
mixers.
The alcohol. But she said, but you got no. I said, I told you I just started drinking until I was 40.
Mixers.
And I may have a majority of the time I have a cocktails on this show. Other than that, I don't drink. So she was like, yeah, I can tell you not a real drinker because you ain't got no damn mixers, nothing to mix it with. But I did have apple cider.
Yes. And it's probably the babies.
Right. It is. That is. So we're going to toast to CAU.
Oh, to CAU.
All right. Boom. Oh, God. I'm only going to take half this shot because I'm going to need the other half for later.
Wait, but this is good.
Oh, go ahead. Take your time. Take it to the back of your throat. No pun intended.
Too early.
So now we go to the gold plate, and the gold plate consists of rocks, affirmation rocks. Okay. You're going to pick a rock, and you're going to tell the people how that rock is a reflection of your life.
Okay.
And who you are as Miss Bovell.
Can I look or eyes closed?
You can look.
Okay.
And what did you pick?
So I chose courage.
Okay, tell us about courage.
I think especially at this point in my life, I realize how important it is for me to be courageous in some of the things that I do. I've been very safe in much of my journey, but I'm learning to dig down deep and find the courage to step out on faith, to do all these things I have not had the courage to do in the past. So right now, for me, courage is the most important.
Okay, so now I'm going to pick one. I'm going to go into the gold plate, and I'm going to pick one. And you got to do the same thing. Bam, what you got?
Oh, kindness.
Oh, God, that's just the opposite.
Watch it.
Explain kindness.
Explain what it means to me.
Yeah,
or
like how you display it, how you want to receive.
So I am the sweetest person you will ever meet. Shh, it's my moment.
Okay.
I am the sweetest person you will ever meet. No, I truly believe in, and you've taught me this, just treating people, no matter how they treat you, just making sure that you're always presenting your best self. And one of the ways to do that is through kindness. So it doesn't take much to say hello to the person in the grocery store, just smile when you interact with people. But this is something that you definitely have been teaching me is just, kindness is free. And if you are just spreading that joy with others or to others, it'll come back to you tenfold. So.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I say with every woman, I'm speaking for the majority, I have an acronym called LOVES. And the L is for love and loyalty. O is for obedience to God. V is for vulnerability. E is for empathy, or being an empath. And S is for sex. And it comes to men, put that in order as far as relationships, as far as level, order of importance, at least.
First would absolutely be obedience to God.
Okay.
I would love to submit to a man that I know is submitting to our Creator or a higher power.
Okay.
Let's see. Second would be love, loyalty.
Okay.
I think that is encompassing of so many things. So that can be the respect, the protection, the things that I desire in a mate. S would be next.
Okay, S, sex. Woo,
D
sex
is
number
important.
3. First one was number 3. After 4 was the record. Now she's at number 3. Okay, okay.
Just because my love language is physical touch.
And you're an Aries.
I'm an Aries.
And people who don't know, let me go on record and say this: the freaks of the zodiac for women, the Virgo and the Aries, hands down. But the difference is, the Virgo use sex as a weapon. Aries is like drinking water for them. If an Aries come to your house, she's not coming to get fucked. She's coming to fuck you.
Yeah, you gotta stay hydrated. Gotta stay hydrated. So yes, S would be third.
Okay.
I think vulnerability and empath would probably just fall hand in hand, like side by side.
Okay.
There's no preference over the other.
Okay.
I think an empath could be vulnerable or should be vulnerable in order to be able to understand somebody else's emotions. You have to be in tune with your own emotions. So
That part.
yeah.
Okay. You're from Boston.
I'm from Beantown.
And for my sports fans, right now we got the Celtics in the playoffs and we have the Bruins of hockey in the playoffs. So Boston is known for sports.
Always.
It's known for the Irishman.
Yes.
But what people don't know is Boston is one of the most racist cities in the country. What was it like for you as a black woman growing up in Boston? What's the good, the bad, and the ugly of Boston?
Well, let me start with I'm an 80s baby.
Okay.
So Boston was changing
Okay.
when I was coming up. I tell people I grew up in the Bobby Brown Boston.
Okay.
And so my experience was more so, summertime, we would pop the fire hydrant and all the neighborhood kids are outside just getting wet because we didn't have community pools.
Yes, same here.
So we had an icy lady. She would, literally take Dixie cups and just freeze Kool-Aid, and we thought that was the best treat. So
nice.
That was what I
Dixie's all. But go ahead.
But then there is the Whitey Bulger,
Okay.
Boston, and I say that as the South Boston side. So there was a lot of racism when I was growing up that I think it just became a part of the everyday experience.
Remember you telling me a while ago that you was called the N-word, like you've heard it several times.
Like it was my name.
And I've never heard, going from Chicago, I've never been called the N-word in my life. You know what I'm saying? So that's like, but you say it was a common thing.
Yep. So I went to school through the METCO program. And
METCO?
It was METCO, M-E-T-C-O.
Okay, METCO, okay.
And so the program itself was actually developed because there was a racial imbalance in the school systems in Massachusetts. So METCO literally brought buses into the city of Boston and took us to the suburbs.
So it was the segregate. What was the segregate? What was it when the school when they integrated the school system?
Yes,
So
we were integrating
the school all over again.
suburbs.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
all over again.
Oh wow. Okay.
And so we were being bused to districts that the people just didn't want us there. But the state said, your schools are too segregated. We're going to take the kids from Boston
Wow.
and bring them out there. So my graduating class, I think there were 7 of us, 7 students of color in a class of 273.
Wow.
So I remember the first time hearing someone say nigger was to my brother, and they called him Arnold Schwarzenegger.
How old were you?
I was in kindergarten.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he was in 4th grade. And so it was just, you know, I went home and I'm like, oh, they called Kevin Arnold Schwarzenegger. And my father was livid. But my mother, born and raised in Boston, she was kind of like, well, you know, that's kind of what they do.
And your dad's from Trinidad.
My daddy is from Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay,
so
Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
And he's a soccer coach at.
He is the head coach at MIT.
Wow.
Soccer, what is it, Coach of the Year 2 years in a row.
Wow. Go Daddy. It's your birthday. And he's married to Shady Shirley.
Leave my
your
mama alone. Leave that little 5-foot
Shout out to Shady
terror.
and Shirley, who makes the best beans and rice you would ever taste. Oh, well, rice and beans.
No,
Be-
peas and rice.
Peas and rice. Peas and rice.
Yes.
Because the Jamaicans say beans and rice. Y'all say peas and rice.
Peas and rice.
Oh, God, it's too much. But
Palau, but peas and rice.
Okay, go ahead.
But yes, my daddy is from Trinidad. He came to the United States in 1975
Okay.
on a soccer scholarship
That was way before I was born.
to go. Yeah, yep.
Okay. So, do you feel like Boston has evolved now?
I'm sorry, I was
Right.
the trauma.
Right,
the
right.
trauma.
Because reason why, because we recently had an incident maybe a year or two ago where on a baseball field and one of the outfielders who's black was called the N-word. And I'm just like, in 2022, are you kidding me right now?
Yes. So I have 3 sons.
Okay.
My oldest, just last year, during a basketball game, a parent actually called him a monkey.
Wow.
And said he was hopping around the court like a monkey.
He said it out loud.
Out loud.
Wow.
And it was actually another parent from my son's school that reported them. So then it was this whole meeting about tolerance. So I think Massachusetts does a good job at pretending the racism doesn't exist. But, you know, on a daily basis, riding down 93, if you're in traffic and something happens and it's a white person and a black person, you're going to hear
Wow.
yeah.
Well, praise God, I don't live in Boston.
Yeah.
Because it would be a whole situation.
Absolutely.
People understand the name, bearing the name Muhammad, growing up as being very pro-black, not anti anyone else, but just loving who I am.
Yep.
I don't disrespect people, but you're not going to disrespect me.
Right.
And I just would hate to see that situation happen. And fathers need to be attending these events because when there's more men, because what happens, these mothers are teens, these men see like, oh, I can act the fool because it's women.
Yep.
But if there's men there, it's going to be a whole situation.
Absolutely.
We going to set that motherfucker off.
Absolutely.
You went to CAU.
I did.
And you went to Boston U.
I did.
But going to HBCU, where I first met you, what was that like? Coming from, being 7 of 200 and something students from high school, now you in a pool of blackness. And I love my people, but we're dealing with a lot of ignorance.
Yeah.
A lot of beautifulness,
Yes.
but a whole lot of, oh God, a lot of Negro shit. What was that like for you?
Oh gosh, Clark, I would say CAU made me grow up. And so my first experience, the first week, orientation week, not going to date myself and say the year, but this is when things weren't computerized.
So that means everything went smooth.
Shit. So I remember going into Harkness Hall.
Okay.
And my mother and I stood in line for 3 hours. And we got to the front of the line, and the woman looked at me and said, I'm going on lunch. She's going to help you in a minute. And I went,
After 3 hours.
3 hours.
First of all, you standing with Shady Shirley that whole time.
Who my mother
She-
has no patience.
Oh God, none.
No.
She's a 5-foot assassin, people.
Her mouth was the whole time. And then when we get to the front to be dismissed. But I learned early on, our people don't necessarily do things smoothly. We do things that, as business-wise,
yes,
that's convenient for us.
Oh, absolutely,
And
absolutely.
there may be no order to it. So Clark taught me to be on my A game. But just being around Black excellence, I loved it when I first got here. Like just walking on campus and seeing so many young Black men, I was like, oh. I'm never going home. But I loved it.
So it's like being in a candy store.
Oh my goodness!
Once you got past the getting registration.
Yeah, that was the school part.
Yeah, that was the school part. But the actual social part, off the chain.
Off the chain.
Wow.
So many beautiful Black people.
Wow. Yeah, I always say I couldn't have gone to HBCU. I would still be in school.
Yeah.
They'd be like, dude, you in your 50s. Take your ass home. I'm like, do you see all these women walking around here? They need me.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely gives those vibes, especially if you are the man or the woman on campus. It's a beautiful family. But
So you went on to Boston U.
I did.
Got your master's. Congratulations. What was that like? I mean, after leaving Clark, all this blackness, now you're in Boston U, where you back to being the minority.
Oh, gosh. Well, actually, I worked at BU when I got my master's. So, and that was years later. I think it was about 10 years after I got my bachelor's degree. So by the time I went back, I was already working. I had a family. I was married at the time.
Okay.
So I went in, head down, focused on what I needed to do. Lucky for me, the person that was in charge of the program was my mentor. And so I didn't really have to interact too much with the students. You know, he was the one that kept me on track. But definitely a different experience. I learned that at schools like BU, there's this culture of not drinking Monday through Thursday, but come Friday, they would get tore up. And it would be like sloppy drunk, and everybody's leaving the bar in Ubers, and it was a different feel. But
You've been an educator for over 20 years.
Yeah.
Now let me tell you, because depending on my guests, I go out and I make special preparations. So I'm in TJ Maxx Home Goods, getting some stuff together. I'm like, and I came across this.
I love it.
And I was just like, this is perfect. Look at God. Look at God working what he works.
I love it.
And so this is for you. You get a chance to take that home.
Thank you.
But teachers change the world. And I know as a former educator that you're not appreciated enough. You don't get the respect. You don't get the pay. You don't get the reverence that you deserve. Why education? And why have you been doing it for so long?
Trauma.
Okay.
My experience going to a predominantly white school district from first grade up until 12th grade.
Okay.
I remember my guidance counselor, my senior year, I gave her the list of schools I was applying to. Most of them were HBCUs. There were a couple of PWIs.
Okay.
But I remember her looking at me and I had a 3.7 GPA when I
Okay,
graduated.
I want to stop. I know we've said HBCU a few times. And tell people what HBCU stand for.
Historically Black colleges and universities.
And what's a PWI?
Predominantly white institution.
Okay, but go ahead.
And so when I gave her my list, her response was, you're not going to be respected if you graduate from an HBCU. And she said, why don't you consider JUCO, which was a junior college.
Wow.
And I
Because you was very smart in high school.
I had no choice. My daddy did not play that. He was a Trinidadian to his heart. We had penmanship courses, and I read the Education of the Negro in middle school.
Wow.
Like, my daddy didn't play.
Wow.
And so I remember folding up my little folder, and I said, thank you. And I walked out. I never went back in. I don't know if she wrote my letter of recommendation for college because she didn't know me. And then when I graduated from college, I said, I am going to go back and, educate our people, our children in the communities in which we live so that they don't have to go to predominantly white schools for an education.
So currently you work and you deal with, you're the lead for remedial.
Yes. You see, I'm fixing my mouth like, say it.
Because we're on camera, I'm going to be politically correct.
I work
at an all-girls school. Tell us about that experience.
So I work in the remedial education program.
Oh, God. I miss the days when you just say what you want to say. Oh, gosh. But go ahead.
So I work as a teacher in the remedial education program
Okay.
for a charter school in East Atlanta. I am in charge of the ELA portion of
And ELA stands for?
English Language Arts. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
English language, okay.
And so my students, every last one of them, all 32, are at least 2 grade levels behind in their reading and phonics skills.
And I know based on what you told me, they actually love Miss Bovell. And I know what people don't understand about educators. It's like being a parent. Everybody's not meant to be. But when you love on these kids, the amount of love they give you back is just, you can't even put a amount on it, because it's like, wow, you're showing me, you just generally just care for me. And that's your heart. Like, you generally just care. And I know you have days where you, like, I guess y'all dress up, y'all had a camouflage day or something of that nature.
No, so we had twin day.
Twin day, okay.
Yeah, well, but you could dress up like whoever you wanted to.
Right, okay.
And so and I had only been there about a month.
Okay.
And so I had a group of students come to me and said, I want to be your twin.
Oh.
And so on that day, I had 7 girls that all dressed up like Miss Bovell.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful. And do you know why I've always called you Miss Bovell?
I don't. What's my name?
No. Because when you was a student, nobody was Mrs. Because you always came across, you carried yourself like a lady. You have a very old spirit. And then when I met your mom at graduation, Shady Shirley, I was like, oh, then that all makes sense. Your mom is very old school.
Yes, she is.
Oh God, to a fault. But shout out again to Shady Shirley.
My heart.
That part. So let's get into more. That was your career. That's your career. Now you have this part of you that, again, is your passion, which is you being an entrepreneur. You have your own clothing brand. Yes. You design jewelry. You have melanin notebooks. Talk to people about that. Tell us about what's going on with that.
I don't like to be broke.
Okay.
And so it started, let me go all the way back.
To be broke is to be woke. What? That boy got bars.
No. But back in middle school, and you're going to love this, but back in middle school, my friends and I, and of course we went to school in the suburbs, so it was like, let's go out and get some money, do whatever we can. So we created Jolly Blows. Right.
Pun intended.
And I'm so surprised we got away with it. But it was blow pops with Jolly Ranchers wrapped around them.
Okay, how old were you?
I was in middle school, like
okay,
7th
so
or 8th
I can't
grade.
go nasty with it. Okay, that's fine.
But it's weird because somehow it got perverted, but I didn't mean for it to be perverted. But we called them Jolly Blows.
Okay.
And so I was in 7th grade going to school charging kids $1.50 for blow pops. So my first business was Jolly Blows.
So you was selling blowjobs.
I was selling blow pops.
I mean,
but
your job was selling blows.
My eye is twitching.
You were selling blows for $1. I'm sorry. Am I the only person hearing this? Johnny Blows.
So moving forward to
Was one of the girls named Jolly?
No.
Okay, that's good to go. Good to know. But go ahead.
So when I became a parent, children are expensive.
Okay, yes.
And so I've always had this just natural gift to create. So if I need something, I'm going to create it. So my son, we were getting all these notebooks that had like Ben 10 and Superman, and none of the characters were brown. So I would actually create covers for his notebooks and put them on top of his notebooks. And then, a couple of friends saw them, so then I was creating notebooks for their classrooms. My melanin notebooks were only for educators, so I've had them be shared at colleges, elementary schools, and part of back to school activities.
Okay.
But it was just to make sure kids went back to school with some sort of representation. And then
Beautiful.
the jewelry is because I like bracelets.
Have you designed anything you have on?
So I designed these 3 bracelets.
Oh, nice. Beautiful.
And I like bracelets that make noise.
Okay, so
It's coming. It's coming.
It's
You look
coming.
expensive though. These are beads. You look real expensive.
okay.
And then the clothing line, I actually started with my oldest son.
And it's called
Bucks Brand Apparel.
Bucks Brand, okay.
It's named after my cousin Brandon, who passed away in 2020.
Condolences.
Thank you. And so we wanted to create something in his memory. So in
Beautiful.
2020, we launched Bucks Brand Apparel.
Oh, wow. Okay. Look at you. Okay.
I'm still broke. I don't know how. I'm still broke, but
No. You're not, because again, you woke, so you can't be broke.
okay.
You see what I'm
All right.
saying? You dropping bars again. It's your boy, Tiy-E. Let's go back to BU, where you was a mental health counselor. What was that like, and why? Because this is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yes.
And this is Teacher Appreciation Week. But the mental health aspect, why is mental health important, and what was that like for you? Because again, you grew up and there was a lot of unstableness around you. So now you're in there teaching what you're learning, because you're still developing, but you're giving back to the community. What was that like for you?
Excuse me. My first week on campus, first of all, I always learned about it as mental illness. And so when you pose it that way, it came across as though there's something wrong with those people.
Got you.
And so when I started working, it was like, okay, I'm coming in service of you people. Through my job and the work there, I realized every last one of us have experiences that make us do what we do. And so some of us, might have bad vices or bad outlets. So we drink, we smoke. But each one of us has an experience that we carry with us. And so in working at BU, and just my boss was very intentional about telling me about mental health versus the mental illness. And I was there for 6 years. If it wasn't such a heavy job, I don't think I would have left because I enjoyed talking to people. It's kind of like you do. Getting them to, share things and helping them to solve problems. And
you cannot heal what you don't reveal.
there you go. But it was just a lot of, I realized how fragile the human mind is, and it made me very intentional about my own mental health.
Okay, beautiful. Let's talk about relationships.
Okay.
Your relationship background. Who taught you? I know your mom and dad have been married for a extended period of time, but who taught you about relationships? How did you learn it?
Claire and Heathcliff Huxtable.
Yes. Wow. That's the third time on this show we've heard.
Really?
Yes.
Claire and Heathcliff Huxtable.
Right. The Cosby Show.
Were the ideal family for me. My parents have been married 46 years now.
Wow.
And, relationships have their ebbs and flows, their ups and downs. So on a daily basis, watching my parents, I didn't realize at a young age, like, people go through stuff. When you're with someone long enough, you go through some shit.
Through some shit.
Yeah,
yes,
you get in there.
Yeah, you're right. You're in the trenches.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But the Cosby Show for me was that love and positivity. And of course, they talked about issues and things like that. But it was to see a black man love on a black woman. And I think I love Felicia Rashad.
Yes.
So to see
her
that.
sister's my baby mama.
Debbie Allen?
Yeah, she just don't know it yet, but go ahead.
Oh, Felicia Rashad is my mother. She just don't know it yet. But just to have that as an example week after week after week, it did something for me. It made me want to be Claire Huxtable.
So you saw this growing up. How did that, you see the Huxtables, you see the Cosby, right?
Yep.
And this is this perfect picture.
Yep.
Was your relationship perfect?
Hell no.
and so you saw the ebbs and flows, probably more downs than ups, which because we all come from just seeing a lot of dysfunctionality in our families and in relationships. Have you ever had a relationship where you can say, wow, I had a beautiful relationship with this guy?
All around?
Yes.
I would say I have had beautiful seasons with
Okay.
people.
Okay.
And I don't think I have any relationship that has ended where I'm not on good terms with that person. But I will say in every relationship, there was either a moment where I wasn't at my best self or my partner wasn't at his best self. There was never, in my opinion, a time when we were both walking side by side and we were, flowing together and giving what we needed to each other.
Okay.
So no, I didn't have a Heathcliff.
Didn't have Heathcliff.
No,
okay.
I didn't have that.
And like you said, you wasn't necessarily
I was not Claire.
Claire, right.
Nope.
So at CAU, you were first my student, then you became more of my client.
Saved me.
Right, I saved you. You were in an abusive relationship. Talk to us about being in an abusive relationship. How did you get in it, and what gave you the courage to get out of it? And ironically, your rock
The
is
courage.
Yes.
So I went to Clark with I came to Georgia with my high school sweetheart.
Okay.
And so he went to Morehouse, I went to Clark.
Who you later married?
Who I later ended up marrying.
Yes, okay.
He and I broke up sophomore year.
Okay.
And I met
Yes.
someone else when I went back home for the summer. He was 7 years older than me. So at the time I was 20 and he was 27.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, this is fun. It's going to be something for the summer. You know, I'm going to go back to school. You're going to stay here. And we'll talk when I come home. And a week before I came back to Clark, he told me he was moving down here. And at 20, I'm not thinking, this man might be a little crazy.
Okay.
So I always say the first 2 months of our relationship was the best time. Once I got down to Georgia, away from my family, away from my friends, he was throwing me around like a rag doll. And it would be the smallest thing. So if I said I was going to call at a certain time and I didn't call, when I saw him, it would be a problem. It started off just the verbal.
Okay.
And then it went to, you know, he would just push me out the way or take me and move me. And then it became full on choking me until I was unconscious. Or I remember one time the overpass, it was 85 by Claremont Road.
Yes.
And the access road was beneath it. And he pulled over and he took me and like mimicked.
He got out the car and came around
and mimicked like he was going to throw me over.
Oh, wow.
And then, you know, he just drove off and left me on the side of the road. So it was progressive. Why did I stay so long? I think I stayed because I was away from family. There was no one to save me until I made that phone call. But yeah, I stayed because I didn't have the courage to leave.
And what happened? What was that moment? Because women need to hear this. What was that moment when the switch went off? It's like, it's time for me to walk away because this guy's going to kill me, or, you know.
I remember in the beginning, because he was so sweet for the first 2 months, I remember thinking I was doing something wrong. Like, oh, if I can just behave, then we can get back to the first 2 months. What made me leave was when I got to the point of realizing nothing I did was going to be okay. And he enjoyed causing me harm. So when the threats became threats on my life, that's when I realized, like, I have to go. He's going to kill me. And I don't know if you remember, it was such a Tiy-E Muhammad moment. So it was Valentine's Day. And you had, this is when you were doing spoken word.
Wind Down Wednesdays.
No, it was Friday. You had
Friday.
So it was a Valentine's event, and you had something at Houston's or Ryan's or something.
Okay. Probably ladies luncheon.
Yep.
Okay.
And so part of our we got extra credit.
Okay.
In the class if we went and worked the door.
Okay. Sounds like me.
Yep. And so me and about 4 other people went to the event, and so one of his friends was at the event, and so he told him that I was talking to men. So when I got home, he was in my parking lot, and he beat me and beat me and beat me and beat me, cracked my tooth, and he left, and he said, when I come back, basically I'm gonna continue. And I remember when he left, you had a 2-way pager, and it was on our syllabus for class, and I remember I'm like, I need help. And you called, and I'm like, so I have a friend who needs to get out of a situation. And before I could even finish, you said, send me the address, and I'll have somebody come and pick her up. And within an hour, Dr. Lemon was at my house.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think had you not responded, had Dr. Lemon not come, I don't know what I would have done in that moment. Because I was convinced he was coming back to kill me.
That part, wow.
Yeah.
And I just want to say this. First of all, I apologize on behalf of men that you went through what you went through. And I just want to say this to men across the world, give them what color, creed you are. It's some bitch shit when you raise your hand and hit a woman. I saw my father be abusive to my mom, and I made a vow then to never hit a woman. That's I'm slapping that ass.
Ooh.
But just to see that as a kid, it messed me up. It really messed me up, and it's never okay. But on the reverse end of that, I tell women, don't put yourself in a position where you're arguing back and forth because the woman, I've had clients, I tell wives and women, don't be abusive to your man verbally. That's equivalent to him being abusive to you physically. It's the same thing because sometimes women think, well, I just called him a bitch ass, blah, 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 blah. Well, like, it's like he would never forget that. Just like he punched you in your face, you're not going to forget that. So on both sides, I'm not going to verbally abuse you. I'm not going to physically abuse you. It's about arguing responsibly. Or more especially, just walk away. Just go somewhere and breathe. But kudos to you for having the courage to walk away. And so you left that relationship, married your high school sweetheart, and live happily ever after.
No. No. It's not how life works. I wish.
Right.
I wish, but no.
But you end up getting married.
I did.
And I remember calling someone and saying, I'm getting married. And I was like, don't do it.
So why?
I said, why? I was just like, huh? You know what I'm saying? But that was me just being, following my...
We all have to live life.
We have to live life.
Experience the things we experience.
That part. But you went on and got married and you have 3 wonderful boys and very, very excited. And I've met them and just wonderful children. Very athletic.
Yes.
You know, I had to beat her son. How old is Cam?
Cameron is 11.
Did
you beat him?
Yeah, I beat him. Yes, I did.
Oh, okay.
That's being
I
state.
was just asking.
Well, I beat him one a basketball. I had to show him. I had to dominate and let him know. No, but this kid is super talented. He's what's my nickname for him?
Camera ready.
Camera ready. He's so camera. His name is Camera. I call him Camera ready because this dude's gonna be a phenomenon in basketball. Just watch, see what I tell you.
And he doesn't like to lose.
He doesn't like to lose. Oh, no. God. He was just like, now mind you, come right here to me, but he's like, I'm going to win. It was the cutest thing ever. But shout out to you being an amazing mom. And I know marriage wasn't easy. But it was like you said at the beginning, this is your high school sweetheart. You was the love of your life. And you was like, oh, I'm all in. And then you guys went away to Atlanta. He went to Morehouse. Yes. And you guys started experiencing life. Yes. And it's like, whoa. And then we slowly but surely, we came together, but yet we drifted apart. What advice would you give to women? Because how old were you when you got married?
31.
31.
Yes.
What advice would you give to women, say, I want to get married, I want to have children. What advice would you give them?
You have to have the conversation of what your partner is looking for. And so what we did not do, and I think because we had known each other since we were 15, I think we sort of just thought, just because we know each other, we'll be perfect mates. And there was no discussion about what he expected of me as a wife and what I expected of him as a husband. So although we were married, it still felt like we were dating. And so I didn't ask questions. He could come and go as he pleased. So number one, I would encourage women especially to have that conversation. Like, are you expecting me to be barefoot and pregnant?
Right.
Because I want to go to work.
Right.
Or I want to be barefoot and pregnant and you want me to go out and work.
That part.
Whatever the conversation is, I think
we do have it.
You need to have it
so
like that you're on the same page.
Because I tell people say you should marry your best friend. I call bullshit on that. With friends, there's no expectations. Right. In marriage, there are expectations.
Absolutely.
Real life, like I expect you to, blah, blah, blah. And this is the conversation we need to have. What do you expect from me? What do you need from me? Yeah. And that's why I already tell couples every day, ask each other, what can I do today to make you happy? Because that changes. Weekly, monthly, it changes. Because this week I made 1 pancakes for breakfast. Next week, I don't eat pancakes no more. Right. You know what I'm saying? So again, but asking daily, what can I do today to put a smile on your face? What can I do today to make you happy? Is a game changer. So you get in the marriage, you find yourself removing yourself. When did you begin to notice that you were sacrificing your happiness to make him happy?
When I was crying silently.
Wow.
I was so protective of his feelings that I didn't want him to feel like he was failing me as a husband. And so there would be moments where the burden of everything, like the kids, the house, fell on me, and I would go in the bathroom and cry. And I think that's when I realized this is not what I wanted out of a marriage. First of all, let me back up. I never wanted to be married.
Okay.
I knew I wanted to be a mother.
Okay.
but I never wanted to be married. And I think it's because in my close circle, and this is no shade to anyone, but I just did not see the model of a marriage in the people that I saw.
Same here. Yeah.
And so for me, I was like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. Show me something that will draw me to marriage. And so my ex and I have had this conversation. I think he married me out of obligation because we had children.
Children. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Are you a good woman?
Absolutely.
Oh, God, if I hear that one more goddamn time. So what's your greatest strength?
Loyalty.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Bless you.
It's it's pollen season.
Bless you. I am loyal.
You're loyal. Okay,
I
to a
am
fault?
loyal to a fault.
Yeah, okay.
I will have your back even when you're slapping me in the face. Like, I'll just be, okay, well, can I love you? Can I still love you? Yeah.
What's your greatest weakness?
I'm stubborn as hell.
What? An Aries is stubborn? No, get out of here. Shut the front door.
Yeah, I'm very, very stubborn.
Choosing the right man. How do you do that? How does a woman of your status choose the right man?
Let me see. So I'm gonna get the shallow part out the way.
Okay.
So
okay.
I like a physical. I have to be attracted to you physically.
What about dad bods? That's sexy.
What's a dad bod?
When the man got the
I know
overlapping-
some sexy fathers.
Right.
But
When they can rest their arms on their belly.
nah.
That ain't.
No, because my daddy don't even have that body.
Right, but you can rub it and get a little crystal baby oil, get some baby oil and just rub it. Get some feathers, sprinkle it on. None of that. Okay. So physically, there has to be an attraction.
There has to be an attraction.
What about being attracted to his mind?
I'll get there. Once I look at him, be like, oh, he's cute. Let me
Because
go
you
say
know
hello.
they say typically that's what they call men shallow for doing that. Because you gotta be able to appreciate the beauty for.
Bull.
And women's like, no. You know, if he's good to me, that's all that matters.
No. So I remember my grandmother telling me she learned to love my grandfather. And my grandmother's 98 years old, so that was a different time.
Shout out to Granny. Go ahead.
Yes. For me, it's, he looked good.
Okay.
That's the initial.
Okay.
Then I get to know what you're thinking.
But first, so it's like going to a department store, seeing a blouse. First, you gotta be physically attracted to the blouse. Like, oh, that's a nice blouse. Then you go try it on.
Yep.
You try it if it
And
don't
see the
fit right.
fit.
Then you decide to buy it or put it back.
Yep.
Okay, got
I
it.
told you I've stopped talking to men because they were sexy, but the moment they ran, it's like, oh no, he
The
runs.
moment they ran.
Like he went to trot across the street.
Okay, because the run was horrible.
And his feet were kicking his behind. Like
Oh, God.
Exactly. So I
Okay.
was like, this is gonna end. Really.
And I've heard you talk about the way a man walks matter.
I like a bow-legged man. It's
Okay.
sexy. There's something sexy about this.
But what if he's not needing? What if he's not needing?
Oh, no.
And his thighs rubbing, and got the sweat in between on the sweatpants.
What's the man on the Sports Center? What's his name? He gets up
Kenny.
to run.
Kenny.
Oh
yeah,
gosh,
yeah.
poor Kenny. But no, knock me is not sexy.
Okay. You are what we call, or you've identified yourself as a professional cock watcher.
You make it sound so dirty.
But you've helped me to understand that, like, men look at asses and breasts, women look at dicks. And I remember you told me about a situation. You was at, I think, a Subway, and it was a chunky guy, and you just was like, what's happening? And you've been caught.
I have.
And so talk to me about men in gray sweatpants.
So I was just gonna say, first of all, it's not. So a professional cock watcher makes me sound like a pervert.
You
say that.
Well, so what would you call it?
I admire the way clothes fit.
On the man. Especially in the dick area.
In the midsection.
Okay, in the midsection. Okay. So you're a midsection watcher.
Yes, and it's not sexual. So
Right,
we've had the conversation.
Right. Explain to the people.
So,
first of all, what percentage of women are cock watchers?
about 85 to 90, and if you say you're not, you're telling a damn lie.
They tell the lie.
You telling a lie.
Let's drink to that.
That's why the whole gray sweatpants thing came up.
So tell us about it.
So I didn't realize it was a thing until the gray sweatpants. But I've always, for some reason, if I'm talking to a man, my eyes just kind of go down and come right back up.
Yes.
It's not sexual for me unless he's attractive.
Okay.
So what you were talking about.
The Subway, Subway guy.
I was at a basketball game.
Basketball, okay.
In certain situations, I have to be like, okay, focus, because my eyes wander.
Yes.
Basketball games, most men wear basketball shorts or sweatpants. So it is like, it's torture.
It's like being in a candy store.
I gotta go focus.
Right.
So I was sitting in a chair, one of the lounge chairs, the
Okay.
travel ones. They sit a little lower. So I'm just sitting watching the game, and I remember doing one of these, and I locked in with the midsection.
Right, with the cock.
With the cock. And the proportions was just a little off. It was intriguing.
Okay.
And so I was there a little longer than I should have been.
Okay.
So I was staring. And then I looked up, and he gave me the...
You see that package. What's up?
And he was not attractive at all.
Wow.
So then he came over and thought I wanted...
So you were literally you was locked in, like locked in.
I was confused. I promise you, I was not interested.
Was it the balls to penis ratio?
A lot of balls.
A lot of balls. She said a lot of balls. Oh God. Oh God. So it was funny. You've got me so. Now, I was paranoid, but I'm so aware now that when I meet women just, and the girls out walk past, first thing they do is before they look at my face, they go mid. And I'm just like, that's the truth. And it's like women, they look at men cocks all the time. But y'all so cool with it.
Most women,
Yes.
unless they want you to know. And so I've told you, if she locks eyes with you afterwards, that's one of those. Yeah,
I saw it.
All right.
I saw-
I saw
wow.
it. I want you to know I saw it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So because most men we're oblivious to it, and I think guys are becoming more and more aware because of the whole gray sweatpants phenomenon. So what is it about gray sweatpants?
I don't know. So they're late. For me, it's slacks. I don't know about the gray sweatpants.
Right.
This thing y'all do before
Yeah, we
you
sit down, we
sit
pull
down
up,
and
yeah.
you pull them up.
Yes.
That's a trap.
That's-
It's a whole trap. It's a whole trap. So the sweatpants, I guess, because it's a loose material, but
Right.
them slacks.
Right.
Yeah.
So how long have you been observer of the midsection?
I don't know. It's been a while.
So I feel violated. Let me say why. So as a professor.
Absolutely.
Oh God. So
Absolutely.
So the thing God back then was I wore baggy clothes. That's when I was wearing denim suits and.
But I will say this.
Okay.
And it was you and two other professors. Y'all had this thing of sitting on the side of the desk.
Yes, that's my thing.
Yeah. So you would do
Oh God.
this thing and sit on the side of the desk, and it's like he did it again. He's doing it again.
Oh God, I feel so violated. And I remember that because I always said I had to jack my slacks up. And she's like, oh God, he's doing it again.
Again.
Oh gosh. And you would say 80 to 85% of women
Absolutely.
are they just watching.
Absolutely.
So what do you and your girl do? And I know men one day used to like, women would sometimes take pictures and send to their girls. Girl, I'm at the post office. Look at. So men don't even know what's going on. Wow. Wow, that's sad but beautiful. But there's a science to it.
There's a science to it. You got to get in and get out. You can't get caught unless you want to.
Wow. If someone wants to write a book about you, what would they title that book?
The Quiet Storm.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that.
The Beautiful Tornado.
The Beautiful Tornado. I like that. The Beautiful Tornado. Is there a book in your future?
I hope so. I have 3 that I started writing years ago.
Okay.
I just have to have the courage to finish them.
Have the courage and the discipline. Is that a discipline thing? No. Need to get you that one. Okay. What would, I don't know if I asked you this question earlier, what would your mature self now tell your 16-year-old self?
Ooh, be patient with yourself and pay attention. I think at 16, I wanted to be grown. Like I was like, I can't wait to be out in the real world and be an adult. That happens over time. I think I rushed my childhood. And just to pay attention. At my big age now, so much has happened over the years that I don't think I have fully paid attention to the present. And I wish I had done that more.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't, again, compliment you on being the great mother that you are.
Thank you.
Raising 3 boys and you being a tomboy at heart. but just a princess by physicality. What is that like, raising 3 boys and being, because you're on one end you're very dainty and sweet and you very mommy.
Mm-hmm.
On the other end you like, what's up? You ain't scoring no baskets? You better man up. You know what I'm saying? What the hell? So talk to us about being a mother of 3 boys.
I would say that is the one thing when people ask me what is the joy and what is one thing you gave up becoming a mother.
Yes.
I didn't realize how much of my femininity I gave up becoming a mother, especially of boys. So we're always at basketball games. It's easy to throw on a hoodie and some sweatpants. But I remember a time when I was getting my hair done, getting my nails done. And I think just becoming a mother, your focus changes. So, I know my boys remind me on a daily basis that God loves me because they're not mine. He used me as a vessel to bring them here, but that is just a reminder for me of how much God loves me. So I do my best, even in the yelling, just to give them the best version of me.
And you've said, I haven't heard this from many women, that giving birth for you was orgasmic.
Yeah, it's euphoric.
Euphoric, yes.
So my first, of course, I thought it was going to be awful. And so I was drugged up. I was pushing that button every 2 minutes, couldn't feel anything. The second one, because I have such a high tolerance for pain, I didn't realize I was dilated so much. And so by the time I got to the hospital, I couldn't get an epidural. So he was natural. And I just remember there was something, like I told the doctor, I have to push. Like I could feel my hip separating, like I have to push. And the moment he came out, I just remember going, like it felt so good in the pain.
Wow.
And so the third one, I was like, I don't want epidural. I don't want anything. I want to go natural.
Interesting. Are you having more children?
No, God, we're not.
She said, no, God, we're not. This is mental health. Again, we talk about mental health month. And we realize where's your mental health right now? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being great, where are you now and where do you hope to be?
So I think it's a daily thing. For me, 2020 was such a rough year. And, going through a divorce recently, I had my good days and my bad days.
Okay.
Today, I would say I'm at like a 7.5.
7.5, okay. Anything you want to say to women out there just who have lived, because you've lived a lot of life. You've been through some
I'm not old, but I've lived a lot of life.
And we know you're not old. I mean, you look amazing. You're only 25.
Yes.
That makes me 23, so we're good.
Yeah.
You lived an amazing life. What advice do you want to give to women just in general on just how to be the best version of themselves?
There is this, I guess I'll say this idea that women, especially Black women, have to be independent and strong independent. And I think somewhere along the way, someone misinterpreted that to mean we don't need men. So my advice would be to be the best version of yourself, your best feminine self, so that you can attract that counter partner. So for me, I want a very masculine man, and I'm not talking sexually. I'm talking just to
a man who exudes virility.
Yeah,
yes.
to conquer, like the two of you together, just to be that force. So my advice to women would be not to be so closed off to good men, but to also make sure when you're asking for that good man, you are your best self.
You say if you want an Obama, you got to be Michelle.
You got to be Michelle.
That part. Okay, rapid fire. I'm going to throw some questions out at you. Just give me what comes to your mind. You're going to go have your drink. And I'm all out, but that's okay. Favorite book to read?
The Coldest Winter Ever, actually. And it's by Sister Soldier.
Okay, by Sister Soldier. Okay, great book.
Yep.
Favorite place to vacation?
I would say Trinidad. I've been to Tobago, so Tobago.
Okay. Favorite part of the man's body?
Penis. Did I say that too fast? Ask me again, I'll slow down.
Favorite part of the man's body?
Penis.
Male celebrity you would love to sleep with?
Method Man.
Method Man.
METHOD man.
Method, if you're out there, hey.
Call me with camera. Hello? Holla.
He's married.
Okay.
She can watch.
She can watch. She can watch. She can give me pointers.
If you were favorite female crush.
Today?
Yeah, if you were to go to the other side, who would you say, you know what, you can get it?
Oh, what is her name? Miracle Watts.
Who the hell is that?
Miracle Watts is I know her from, what is the show? P-Valley.
Okay.
But I don't know why I know her. I think she was like a model or something, or a video girl. But she's beautiful with no makeup.
Okay. Last question.
This always means.
No, it's real simple. It's real simple. Favorite sexual position?
Anyone that feels good.
Anyway, so you remember what you said? Because mind you, I taught a human sexuality class, right? I taught human sexuality, so we was talking about sexual positions. And this one over here raised her hand. Oh, I like them back shots by Dr. Mama. I'm like, I had no idea what that, because I never heard that term. Like, what the hell is a back shot? That's doggy style, people.
Doggy style.
Right. So I won't even ask you why back shots. Tell, unless you want to answer that. Why back shots?
So any position that feels good, but I think the way I am made, I can feel more from.
You can feel more. So size matters.
Oh, size, absolutely.
So
that wasn't a question.
I still have the question. So here we are.
Child, don't do it. We keep going.
But he's nice. He's sweet. He's taking care of home.
Somebody gonna love him.
Right.
Love him right.
But you can think big.
Yeah, no. No. You gotta show up.
You gotta show up. So you can work. If it's too big, you can work around it.
No, if it's too big, it's uncomfortable. If it's too small, you can't work around it.
Okay, so if you had a choice, too big or too small? Yeah. I'm
gonna go with too big.
Okay. Again, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So many wonderful gifts. And again, entrepreneur, your clothing brand. Tell people how to find you and where to get, to holler at you.
Social media, of course. So it's Bucks Brand Apparel, no spaces on Instagram.
Spell out Bucks.
So BUCKS.
Okay.
Brand Apparel.
Okay.
And the jewelry is Cufflinks. So CUFFLYNKS.
Okay.
Also on Instagram.
So it's just cufflinks.
Cufflinks.
Okay, Ed Cufflinks. Oh, nice, beautiful.
Yeah,
okay.
And that's on Instagram as well.
Okay. Well, again, thank you, and you're just amazingly beautiful. Continue to be the best version of yourself. I forgot to. I want 30 seconds. Give me 30 seconds feedback on this. Being a dark-skinned woman, growing up, during the time good, the dark-skinned, light-skinned, and the black dynamics. How has that played a part in you? Because people say, of course, you've heard the term, you're beautiful to be dark-skinned.
You're beautiful. So I've heard you're beautiful for a colored girl. You're beautiful for a chocolate girl. Like there's always some.
Is that offensive?
Caveat. I didn't realize it until I got older because most of my family is light-skinned. And so I knew I was darker than everybody else, but I took it as you're beautiful. They're just saying you're a little darker. It's highly offensive. And I think the older I've gotten, the more I've gotten comfortable with my complexion. So I always wished I was lighter when I was younger.
So, yeah, we're going to thank people like Biggie and Wesley Snipes who brought
black and ugly as ever.
Right. They brought the whole dark skin because we started enjoying the dark skin within our own community when Hollywood started, which is just all ass right backwards. Because my brother, who we just call 1159 because he was so dark, he had a true issue growing up because he was dark. Now I've always been in that middle space, so I never understood what the dark went through or what the light went through. It was just like, wow. But it's interesting how there's discrimination within the race of light skin and dark skin.
Absolutely.
But shouts out to you just for being a beautiful sister and maintaining yourself. You look amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Kimberly Bovell, make sure you shout her out. Appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of S.L.A.M, Sex, Love, and Misunderstanding. I'm Dr. Tiy-E. As always, peace and love. Holla at your boy.
It's Wednesday night, 9 o'clock, time to slam. Sex, love, and misunderstanding. With Dr. Tiy-E, he the man. Relax, let him lead the way. He got a plan, it's the slam.